Pre-open settled 18 points higher on the Nifty and 45 points higher on the Bank Nifty. In terms of top gainers on the index, you have Z Entertainment with about 1% gain. And top loser is JSW Steel, down about 0.5%. Tata Motors also down 0.5%. Let's take the 9-10 calls then. Ashwini, on the index or on a stock, what would be the 9-10 call now?
Basically, yesterday was a fairly large range day. I would think today will be a narrower range day than yesterday. I don't think there is much on the index. Meanwhile, escorts can be, bought with a stop, say around 810 and look for targets of 845.
Okay, well, Ashwini, thanks for that. Mitesh, what about you? The pre-opening rates have settled flat, but the mid-cap index is doing well. What would the big call be at 9-10?
For the day, I would choose L&T Finance, keep a stop below 149 and look for target of 158.
Okay, Prakash, what are you looking at?
Since L&T Finance was a consensus, I'll avoid that and I'll go with Voltas. Looks good, can climb to around 640 zones, stop below 614.
Fair enough. Let's see. There's a bit of a resistance though for L&T Finance at around 155. Last time also topped out at that mark. So let's see. For now, in pre-open it's up about 2.5%. But let's look at some other names. Tata Motors is interesting. Any thoughts on this one?
Yes, that's a call that I have given, and I would say that it's sliding to levels closer to 165 or even 160 is a possibility. Stop above 172 and Tata Motors should be okay.
Okay. Well, actually, the market is just about in the green. And to be fair, there has been a moving up of Asian markets as well of the morning lows. If you have an intraday of any of the foreign indices, Hang Seng or Nikkei, Nikkei is still, of course, under pain because the yen is strong and that's hurting the Japanese stocks. But Hang Seng has almost moved into flat today, and as you can see, it's green on the Hang Seng index. So Asia is clearly charting out a different course, not getting mired in all the slowdown talk or the yield inversion in the United States. So if India is going to even follow the EM, and so far it has actually outperformed EM, we could have a better day than any of the Asian markets as well. Let's look afresh at some of these banking stocks. Ashwini, would you want any fresh trade on the likes of Yes Bank and IndusInd Bank now?
If you have it, hold on. But I don't think after a bit of a gap, it's really worth buying. Maybe, taking some profits off would be a more useful idea.
Mitesh, what would you do with a name like IndusInd Bank? I mean, the stock is up already about 25% this month at 1800 plus. How does the risk reward look?
The risk reward is slightly tricky, but I think the upside still remains. I would look at targets close to about levels of 1900 over here. So I think that still gives you another 100 points to for the stock to rally. Maybe you would want to buy partly if you want to buy now and then add more around 1780. Keep a stop below 1750 here.
Okay, well, a whole lot of mid-caps are moving a lot today. Let's see how things pan out. Actually, the mid-cap index is higher than the Nifty and the Sensex at this point in time. Any of the public sector banks that you may want to take a trade, Prakash?
I would go perhaps for, I would think of State Bank of India. Union Bank was doing well yesterday, but State Bank of India possibly could climb to around 320 zones. I would have a stop somewhere below 304 and trade long on State Bank of India.
Okay, trade long on State Bank of India. A lot of other PSU banks are also doing well today. So whether it's UCO Bank, Andhra Bank, etc. Mitesh, would you trade any of these names on the upside?
See, I do like them. I think, both these stocks will do well, but I think they are not the best or the outperforming stocks in the PSU banking law itself. I've already mentioned Union Bank, Bank of India, Oriental Bank of Commerce, PNB, State Bank of India top of the list.
Okay, what's the thought on Z Entertainment now, Mitesh?
Anuj, Z had some kind of a breakdown, and what we're seeing is possibly, a chance of more decline. Maybe it'll retest, if not the lows, the swing lows of around 390 could be revisited over here.
Okay. Yesterday, there were quite a few positive calls on ICICI Pru. Today, it appears to be starting lower. Ashwini, is there any fresh call on ICICI Pru?
If it's starting lower, I think you should be buying into it because it's crossed its 200-day moving average yesterday, and chances are it opens lower and then recovers a bit.
Okay.
Okay, there is a sell call on Jain Irrigation from Deutsche Bank, so keep an eye out on that. That stock is actually under a bit of pressure right now, and NBCC is the one that's up almost about 3% after winning some fresh orders. Prakash Gaba, have you tracked NBCC at 65? How does it look?
I like the basic structure. It looks like a good base formation on NBCC. May take its own sweet time, but if you look at increase the time frame, I think it's heading to levels closer to around 80 zones, but that will take its own sweet time. In the short term, looks like there's a support closer to 60. So all dips are buying opportunities if you're looking at 80 targets for a long time.
Yeah, Prakash been recommending that since 50, I think, NBCC.
Okay. Today could be a positive IT day because the rupee is slightly weak. But there goes the bell, and we will know, well, the markets at the moment a little better than pre-opening, okay, or as good. The Nifty is up about 18 points, that's 11,464 thereabouts. Sensex up 70, that's again 0.1, 0.2 up. You should call it flat to slightly in the green. The mid-caps are a shade better, 1/3% higher. The Nifty Bank is flat as flat can get, 15 points higher if you please. Let's just take a quick look at the Nifty stocks that are doing well. IT stocks are among the green stocks, but not the only one. Z Entertainment is actually 1.5 higher. HCL Tech is up 1.6, so now it's becoming the top performing stock. But the other IT stocks, Tech Mahindra, Infosys, all just mildly in the green. Not a very big IT day. Indiabulls Housing is continuing to charge higher, and today could be a good day for NBFCs and finance stocks in general since yields are falling. Indiabulls is up 1.1, Yes Bank is up 1. Then actually we should pay attention to the HPBPs of the world. They were not among the winners. Today you are seeing that as crude recedes much below the $68 mark. HPBP are in the green, about 0.7, 0.5% higher. That's the green list. Well, there are more, of course, GAIL, TCS, Aisha, all of them up, but less than 0.5%. The red list is actually quite small. Tata Motors is taking a little bit of a pasting, not a huge one, just 0.8 down because of perhaps the S&P report downgrading the bonds of this company. JSW Steel is down about 0.9, ONGC 0.8 down. IndusInd Bank is giving up a little, just a little, 0.7 after that very smart rally. Power Grid has been among the weaker stocks, down about 0.5%. Cipla, HDFC Bank, Titan, Bajaj Finserv, Tata Steel, all of them down, but very marginally. I mean, 0.2. In the meanwhile, the Nifty Bank has dipped a little into the red.
Okay, the mid-cap index is open fine. I mean, it's a flat opening with a bit of a positive bias. The advance decline ratio is good. It is at 3:1 in favor of the advances, so good for the bulls for now. The space to be in really is the NBFC space this morning. So whether it's names like M&M Finance, Manappuram Finance, all of them doing pretty well in trade. L&T Finance up about 1.5%. You have, some of these names from the fertilizer space also, RCF, etc., that are up in the green, up almost about 3.5% there. On the downside, the entire consumption basket is coming in for some selling pressure. So whether it's Marico, Dabur, Escorts, most of them have indicated that demand is weak. So there are red ticks, nothing alarming, just about a 1% cut on all of these names. Jet Airways is also coming in for some punishment now, so down about 1.5% on Jet Airways. And some more stocks in the news include names like NBCC, where there has been a fresh order win. So that stock is up almost about 2.5% right now. Kalpataru Power has been in the news, up about 3% over there. And some of these real estate stocks doing well. So DLF is up about 2%. Otherwise, it's a very quiet opening for the market, just consolidating around that 11,460 mark. So, I mean, for now, the start is mildly in the green, Anuj.
Yeah, mildly in the green. Reliance Power is out of F&O band, so that's the top traded stock, but you don't want to perhaps nibble too much around that. And also, of course, there's some bit of buying in NBCC, HCL Tech, DLF, but flat opening. That's what you expect normally on expiry day, and then you take it from there. Let's take the market opening to our guest then. Ashwini, your thoughts on market opening?
Well, you can go long on the Nifty because yesterday the last half an hour wasn't so good. So my sense is that you will get fairly close to 11,500, 520. So this is the time to get into the Nifty stocks because early morning dip is getting bought into.
Okay. Well, there's DLF that's doing well among the mid-cap stocks, as of course is NBCC, which we just discussed. HCL Tech is also leading, but of course that's among the Nifty stocks. Prakash, we already spoke about NBCC. Anything else coming into your radar?
Yeah, two stocks. I think I like HCL Tech. That's heading up. Good move here. Possibly 1100 is the target. And I also like Delta Corp. Looks like it's heading to levels closer to 270. These two stocks should do well today.
Okay,
Prakash, well, thank you very much for joining us. We'll touch base with you later on in the day. Yeah, Sonia.
No, I just wanted to get a couple of more chart checks in before we move on. The market is not doing too badly actually. Now the Sensex is up about 75 odd points. And the big index gainer this morning is HCL Tech. It's up about 2.5%. Z Entertainment is up almost 1.5%. In fact, technology stocks are making a bit of a comeback. Mitesh, very quickly, on these technology names, HCL Tech, Tech Mahindra, TCS, would you trade anything now?
I think Prakash already mentioned HCL Tech. I just had bought HCL Tech, so disclaimer, I have a personal vested interest. Some futures position have been initiated. I think it's given a good breakout and multiple positive crossovers of indicators. I think it should get past the recent highs of 1080 and head towards the 52-week high of 1120 or so. So I think there's good trading momentum here. That looks to me the strongest IT stock for the time.
Yeah, but the stock that we were discussing in the morning as part of top 10, Shriram Transport, that's really been the cleanest NBFC play, and that's the one which is seeing quite a bit of rise. So just keep an eye on that. Shriram Transport is up about 2.5%. And at higher level, there's a bit of a struggle for L&T Finance, perhaps on expected line. That one is right now after opening higher, seeking lower levels.
Resistance at 150.
Yeah, resistance at 155 thereabout, and last time also it topped out around that mark. It could perhaps be just a case of overbought position getting corrected, but that's the one where at higher level there is a bit of a resistance. So
actually, just one more NBFC stock, if I can take a chart check. I mean, not a big one, Magma FinCorp. Just pull up Magma FinCorp. It's got a peculiar, huge bump up in the past couple of days. Ashwini, is this something which we should take note of? Magma?
For the moment, the larger NBFCs are doing well. But, like in PSU banks, once, things start to run, you will get moves even on the smaller stocks. Magma 124 is a 200-day moving average. I would think that we should soon see 148, 150. Again, ICICI Pru I had mentioned, I believe it's recovered and is now moving into the green.
Oh yes, it has. Ashwini, Mitesh, thanks a lot for joining us. For me, the stock of the morning is DLF. That's the one which is really having a clean breakout. It's the QIP which is done now on the stock. It's corrected a bit from its highs. That's the one which looks primed today. Also, the market starts to now build in a rate cut, so you'll have real estate stocks do well. That's the one which is having a bit of a clean breakout. Just keep an eye on this stock. Looks quite interesting. Almost 2.7% gain now on DLF is what you have.